Hi, welcome back to Breakfast of Champions. We're going through the series right now, Finding Joy at Work. And we've talked about how joy is different from happiness. Happiness depends on happenstance, on good things happening to us. And that's going to always be a fluctuating up and down thing. But joy depends on a deep rooted belief, on having the right attitude, so that despite whatever situation is happening, we can still have joy. And that's what we want. We want to find joy at work. Whether work is going up or down, we want to have joy in whatever situation we're in. And last week we talked about how there are two decisions we could make in our attitudes about work. Does work give us dignity, or do we give dignity to work? And depending on the attitude or the view that we choose, that greatly affects how we enter into our jobs. Now, if we choose work giving us dignity, there's going to be some jobs that are lower or considered dirty that we are going to be unwilling to do with a good attitude. Whereas if we realize that we give dignity to work, we're going to be willing to do almost anything with the right attitude. Now, I can just think of one dirty job for a manager, and I'm not talking about picking up the trash now, right, like last week. But I'm talking about dealing with the complaints, the bad attitudes, dealing with the uncooperative behavior of staff. That seems like a dirty job to a lot of managers, right? To want to really coach, to want to have a good conversation, to deal with the relational conflict that are in our teams. Sometimes it's better to say, hey, no, that's not for me, I'm not going to do it, it's not part of my job. But actually, right, it is a very important part of the leader and the manager's job in a team, right? To deal with these negative attitudes, negative behaviors, to deal with conflict, especially relational conflict between team members or between team members and the manager. Right? A manager must be courageous to say, you know what, I'm going to have that difficult conversation because I'm going to add dignity to that job that needs to be done. Right? So think about that from last week. Okay? Today we're going to go on to the second attitude, right, that we need to have to find joy at work, right? And that's what's our motivation to work? Is it to learn, or is it just to earn? Right? And it makes a difference. I know many people have different views, and I just want to stimulate that discussion, right, within our teams, and to challenge our attitudes, I guess, to see what are the benefits of choosing one of these attitudes. And I'm sure there's going to be some people, I always get this, who say there's both, right? But I have a view on that, all right? I'm going to share that in a moment. Let's think through this for a moment, right? What do you think is the attitude, is the behavior of someone who is purely motivated to work, to earn? What do you think is the attitude and the behavior? Honestly, I used to be like this. Okay? When I got out from when I graduated from university, I was looking for jobs, looking through the internet websites, job sites for jobs. I didn't really care about the job itself. I was just looking at one column, and that was the salary column. All right? And I didn't really think, can I really give my best? Can I really do my best in this job and add value to the company and the customers? That was not the first thing on my mind, sadly. I was just looking about getting paid. And sadly, this is the attitude I think we find a lot in the marketplace today, right? Pay me big dollars, and then I'll try to do the job. That seems to be the attitude a lot of people are coming with. Pay me big dollars because I deserve it, and then let me do the job. Rather than, let me try to do it, and let me try to give my best, then pay me for the job. There's a big difference in that. So someone who I think is focused on being motivated to work to earn is going to have that eye on that, constantly having an eye on earning. And this person, I think, may not be long-term minded in terms of building a career. This person may jump very often whenever there's an opportunity. Now, change is good sometimes. Change is also bad sometimes, right? Change is, in a sense, there's always change, but change can be good and can be bad. And I think when we jump too often, we don't allow our roots to grow deep. And when you uproot a tree too often, it kills the tree. Right? A tree needs some time to be rooted and to really grow and to flourish at wherever they're at. And so with that eye on earning, I think there is no long-term view on the career. And sometimes there's, I think, a lot of jealousy too when the eye is on earning. Doesn't matter what job it is, whether it's a high-paying job or even a low-paying job, right? When we're motivated to earn, I think that it stimulates a lot of jealousy. Like we see that our old classmate is earning, say, $100 more than us. We feel a sense of jealousy. We feel like, man, I better go back and ask my manager for a raise, or I'm going to find a new job to earn more than him, right? So it never ends. In our families, this happens. We go for a family gathering and we start comparing salaries. Not a good thing to do. And we start feeling that jealousy because deep down inside, perhaps we were all motivated just to earn in our jobs. And that's why there's no joy, right? There's no joy, no satisfaction in our work. How about someone who is motivated to work, to learn? He just wants to get better. He wants to become a more valuable person. He or she wants to be a more valuable person. What do you think is that person's attitude and behavior? This person would be more focused on being the best he or she can be in that role. Maybe even possibly doing more than their role. Now, I think working to learn doesn't mean working for free. Alright, I would disagree. Okay? I think there is a tendency that someone who's really working to learn could be taken advantage of. Maybe people may see that, wow, that's such a guy or gal who just wants to work hard and want to improve themselves, and let's just give them all the job to do and let's pay them at the lowest possible salary. I think sometimes, yes, these people may be taken advantage of. Now, don't get me wrong here, right? If you're getting abused at work, you have a leader, a manager who's abusive, you need to face that, and maybe you do need to have a difficult conversation and draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, hey, look, I'm coming here to give my best, but I do need to be treated well as well. So if that conversation doesn't go well, maybe you do need to find a place where you can truly grow. You can be appreciated, and the manager is going to bring out the best in you. That's what a good manager would do. A good manager brings out the best in their team. So back to working to learn, right? I think someone who works to learn is going to be more long-term minded. They're going to see, hey, look, I want to give my best in this, and I'm not just going to just jump here, jump there, and just learn a little bit of this, learn a little bit of that. Yes, some people are generalists, and some people are specialists. But even generalists need to have boundaries, right? Generalist doesn't mean generalist in everything. A generalist in everything basically is good at nothing. So even a generalist needs to have a certain area of focus. Maybe it's a little bit wider than a specialist, but he needs to have that area of focus that he or she can be good at. So if we don't work to learn, we're never going to be able to find that area. And I've learned the hard way from jumping jobs in my early part of my career that I just wanted to I thought I knew it all, basically. After 1 year in the job, it's like, yep, I'm an expert already. I know it. But really, when we don't have an attitude to learn, we miss a lot of lessons that are there. Okay? And so working to learn increases the value of the person. And when you become a more and more valuable person, the day will come, right? Eventually. The day will come when actually you start attracting the demand, right? People need you on their team because you become more and more valuable. So I think it is important that we make a choice on what is our motivation. Do we work to learn or work to earn? Now, for those of you who say that, you know what, we're going to do both. I think you're going to hate me for this. I'm going to disagree with that, okay? And I think in life, there are some principles that you may have to choose both. Like, for example, results and relationships, right? A good manager delivers good results and builds good relationship with his team. If he doesn't just choose one, he chooses both, right? And there are many other principles where we need to choose both. But there are some, I believe, it's really about choosing one, okay? And I think this is one of them. Okay, there's a proverb that goes, if you chase two rabbits, you're gonna lose both. Okay, and I think this is the same case. If you try to chase two rabbits, if we imagine each attitude here as a rabbit, I think you might lose both. Okay, you might disagree with me, all right? But I just want to stimulate that discussion, stimulate us to think deeper and harder about how our attitudes affect our behavior and how our behavior affects the results, the performance, and everything we get in life. So I think if we choose both, we end up losing both. Right? And I think we need to choose one. And if we can choose one, I encourage choosing working to learn. In our current situation, in our current job, let's take a good look at it. Are we truly motivated to learn, work to learn, or are we motivated to work just to earn? What if, imagine for a moment, if you change that and you say, I'm going to work to learn, I'm going to be the best I can be in my current role. Right? I'm going to learn from others that are even better than me. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be more valuable. And I'm not going to compare. Even let's say some other person earns a little bit more than me, you know what? Hey, good for them. I celebrate that. I'm happy for them. I just want to be the best at where I am. And when the time is right, I'm going to check with people who care about me, of course, get advice from mentors. And it's time for me to move on to something better. All right, I'll move. But I'm not going to be in a rush just because, right, I've got other people who's earning a little bit more than me or a lot more than me. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be secure at where I am. I'm going to learn to find joy. Okay, I'm going to work to learn to do the best I can at where I am. Okay, think about that. Discuss about that in your teams, right? And debate, I guess, argue if you have to, and discuss what is the long-term and short-term benefits of choosing the right attitude and which one it could be. Have a great week this week, all right? And remember, let's all work to learn. Goodbye.